was definitely pretty crazy. So now we're going to look at Kevin McCarthy, right? I mean, this interview is pretty ridiculous because it's like George Santos, as we pointed out, really is useless to everybody, and the Republican Party at large wants to get rid of him. So it's not even like George Santos is like hugely popular within the Republican Party. He is not. And you know, Kevin McCarthy. Well, I can't remember their names, but there were a few Republicans. I don't know if their names were mentioned in the article, but they were saying that they didn't want to kick. Or rather, they didn't want to block George Santos from committee assignments because of the precedent that it might set for future people who get in trouble for quote unquote allegations. But it's like, you know, these aren't allegations. You know, George Santos lies about literally everything. You know, he can have on a blue shirt and he'll tell you it's red. But yeah, so I say all that to say, you know, and we're going to watch this, and it's painful and it's ridiculous, but it's really stupid because it's like the Republicans, they're getting ready to do all these investigations. They're going to try to impeach everybody. They're going to do, you know, but the Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, the one who's supposed to be, you know, the leader of the House, the strong one, you won't condemn George Santos, but you're going to go out. So it's these people. I mean, it's just so stupid.
But doesn't it further?
Oh, of course, we got to watch.
Good news, New Jersey. If you need health insurance, now is the time to get quality, affordable health coverage through.
Bear down credibility when you put someone who's under state, local, federal, and international investigation as a representative of your party on committees. I'm talking about George Santos, representative from New York.
We should have that discussion. So let's have that discussion. You want to bring up Santos, and let's talk about the institution itself, because I agree wholeheartedly that Congress is broken. And I think your listeners or viewers should understand what proxy voting was, because it never took place in Congress.
But I'm asking
you
about George Santos.
I know you asked me a question. Let me ask you.
Because you could put it to a vote.
You asked me a question. I'd appreciate if you let me answer. So let's go through this, because it's not one simple answer. Congress is broken based upon what has transpired in the last Congress. The American public wasn't able to come in to see us. People voted by proxy, meaning you didn't have to show up for work. Bills didn't have to go through committee. So what I'm trying to do is open the people's house back for the people so their voice is there, so people are held accountable. So now, as I just had in the last week, for the first time in 7 years, every member got to vote.
If you got a third of your caucus to vote to oust him, you could do so. You don't think you could get your Republicans to do that?
I wasn't finished answering the question. So if every single new person brought into Congress was elected.
I wasn't finished answering the question.
Elected by their constituents, what their constituents have done has lend their voice to the American public. So those members can all serve on committee. Now, what I'm trying to do is change some of these committees as well. Like the Intel Committee is different than any other committee.
So you're just not going to answer the question I asked?
Well, no, you don't get to question whether I answer it. You asked a question. I'm trying to get you through that.
I don't think you've said the name George Santos like once.
But you know what?
You're talking about proxy voting and other things.
But you started the question with Congress was broken, and I agreed with you. But I was answering the question of how Congress is broken and how we're changing it. So if I can finish the question that you asked me, how Congress is broken, I equated every single member that just got elected by their constituents. They have a right to serve. So that means that Santos can serve on a committee the same way Swalwell, who had a relationship with a Chinese spy. But they will not serve on Intel.
They're wrapping me in the control room because we're
that's unfortunate. I wish I could answer the question.
Now, again, the overall point, you know what I'm saying? The overall point that I was making about Kevin McCarthy is he's the Speaker of the House. A large portion of the Republicans want George Santos gone because there's really no use having him there because you can't trust him. Not just that, but he's so unpopular. It's just really of no benefit. And for Kevin McCarthy, the leader of the House, to not be able to condemn George Santos shows absolutely no strength. But yet they're about to do all these investigations, about to go after everybody. It's stupid. You know what I'm saying? Shit is ridiculous. I'm going to play this back real quick.
But doesn't it further wear down credibility when you put someone who's under state, local, federal, and international investigation As a representative of your party on committees. I'm talking about George Santos, representative from New York.
We should have that discussion. So let's have that discussion. You want to bring up Santos, and let's talk about the institution itself, because I agree wholeheartedly that Congress is broken. And I think your listeners or viewers should understand what proxy voting was, because it never took place in Congress.
But I'm asking
before.
You about George Santos.
I know you asked me a question. Let me ask you.
Because you could put it to a vote.
You asked me a question. I'd appreciate if you let me answer. So let's go through this, because it's not one simple answer. Congress is broken based upon what has transpired in the last Congress. The American public wasn't able to come in to see us. People voted by proxy, meaning you didn't have to show up for work. Bills didn't have to go through committee. So what I'm trying to do is open the people's house back for the people, so their voice is there, so people are held accountable. So
again, this has absolutely nothing to do with George Santos. And we're going to talk about Chris Christie in a minute, because he made a comment talking about how Donald Trump really can't win a general election, which he can't. I mean, pretty much everybody knows that. He doesn't. It's not even about the Republican support. Donald Trump doesn't have the support of independents. And, you know, as the Republican Party realizes that as things move forward, they're going to be attacking him. And Kevin McCarthy, man, Donald Trump is going to be on Kevin McCarthy's ass. You know he is. You know he is. Kevin McCarthy's about to get bullied for this, rightfully so. And rightfully so. Because it's like, if you motherfuckers can't condemn George Santos when your own party wants him gone, and you're the Speaker of the House, like, bruh, like, get the fuck out of here. But nah, this shit, that shit is hilarious. Because it's like, condemning George Santos is like the easiest thing for anyone to do, and you can't do that. But you're gonna be out here doing all these investigations on motherfuckers like Hunter Biden, who is not in office. You're gonna be talking about his laptop. Hunter Biden ain't got no position in government. This dude does, but you're like, oh well, you know, I'm not gonna mention his name. And while we on George Santos, we're gonna talk about one more thing, because it's the never-ending chronicles. Mother Jones did an investigation, and lo and behold, it turns out that some of his donors weren't real. Because of course. Oh, I just got a message that my videos I sent to Rebel HQ this morning, the video and the audio was out of sync, and I don't have time to re-record them. It's okay. Technology will fuck your money up sometimes. That's all right. So let's see what Mother Jones had to say about some of his people. In September 2020, George Santos' congressional campaign reported that Victoria and Jonathan Reger had each contributed $2,800, the maximum amount, to his first bid for a House seat. Their listed address was 45 New Mexico Street in Jackson Township, New Jersey. A search of various databases reveals no one in the United States named Victoria or Jonathan Reger. Jonathan Reger. Moreover, there is nobody by any name living at 45 New Mexico Street in Jackson. That address doesn't exist. There is a New Mexico Street in Jackson, but the numbers end in the 20s, according to Google Maps and a resident of the street. Santos's 2020 campaign finance reports also list a donor named Stephen Berger as a $2,500 donor, and said he was a retiree who lived on Brant Road in Brawley, California, but a spokesperson for William Brandt, a prominent rancher and Republican donor, tells Mother Jones that Brandt has lived at that address for at least 20 years, and neither he or his wife have made any donations to George Santos. I mean, and that's why I'm saying go back to Kevin McCarthy. It's like, you can't condemn and kick this dude out. Like, come on, man. That shit's gonna look bad to your own people. It really is. Even the incredibly partisan, far right leaning, Looney Tune ass Republican Party, they want him out, and you're the leader of the party, and you're like, oh no, I don't want to say anything. Okay,